Hey, what's going on? Today I wanted to just do a quick review on the Echo Shadow series of rods. If you look at my hat, um, I might have a little bit of a bias, but they're all excellent rods, and I want to break it down just in case you're wondering if you want to get the 2-weight, if you want to get the 3-weight, or the 4-weight, and kind of the differences between the rods and what rod might suit your needs. So I fished all three. I definitely guide with all three as well, depending on the situation and the water type, of course. But I would say I've gotten to kind of know. I think the darling of the family would be the 3100. So I've fished this rod for 2 seasons. I've had a lot of fun with it. I have it paired up with an Airflow Euro line that I've really come to love. But what's the nice thing with these shadow rods is that they're going to throw a fly line just fine. So in my last video I talked about if you were fishing the Euro leader, you might, if you're not competing, you might want to build that butt out. The Echo is great for that, so you could fish an Airflow and a 4-weight. For the 3-weight rod, you can jump up one line size is what's recommended. So you don't have to just Euro nymph with these tools. So it's nice as they're kind of a hybrid. They're going to do both things very well for you. So right off the bat, this is the 2-weight. You see I have the comp kit on it, and I can dive into that in a little bit. So if you buy the competition kit, it's going to come with two 6-inch splints, or maybe that's not the right word, but two 6-inch sections that it doesn't matter which way you put them in, they're going to fit together. So this can bump out your rod an extra foot or an extra 6 inches. I find that with the 2-weight and the 3-weight, the sweet spot for me personally is I like having just an extra 6-inch extension, fishing them, in the 10.5-foot configuration. So we'll start, I think I'm most comfortable with the 3100 because I've spent the most time with it when I have an off day. That's the rod that I usually reach for to go do fishing here locally in northern New Mexico, southern Colorado. So we'll start with the 2 because most people probably aren't familiar with that, and we'll kind of just work our way up the family of rods so you can all get acquainted. So this is the 2-weight. I have a comp kit on that as well. 10.2. It weighs, put together without the comp kit on there, it's going to come in at 2.8 ounces. All the Echo Shadow rods have up-locking reel seats. And with the conversion kit, if you're trying to just do it to balance out a reel, remember that 3 of these is going to equal an ounce. So, roughly, 28 grams to an ounce, 30 grams is, these are all 10 ounces, or I'm sorry, 10 grams, excuse me. So, this is the 2100. So I like to use this rod when I guide, the prime example would be here in northern New Mexico on the Rio Costilla. A lot of smaller fish. So I would say, for me, what's nice there is, a big fish up there is going to be 12, 14 inches. So you're going to run into a lot of little guys. And so this rod, you're going to get some more play out of them. Plus, when you hook that 12-inch fish, it's going to feel a lot bigger. So I like the 2-weight for all my small stream work. It's a good little creaking rod too. But it does have enough backbone to land bigger fish. All of these rods do. But I would say if you're consistently, fishing for fish, kind of sub 14 inches, more sub 12, this would be the rod. So I'm originally from the East Coast, so a couple creeks come to mind out there. But for here in northern New Mexico, I would say like the Red River would be a good example of a place I'd like to use the 2100. That you can encounter some bigger fish down there, of course, but with some side pressure, you can get them in just fine. So small streams, fish sub 12 inches would be what I would use that rod for. That being said, moving on up, coming in at 3.2 ounces is going to be the 3100. So I use this on the Rio Grande here. I'll use it on the Chama as well. I think it's a good all-around rod. With the nice thing that I didn't bring up before is with this 2100, it's going to be a little more sensitive, just the taper, and I can zoom in. The comp kit is going to fit all the butt sections from the 2-weight to the 4-weight, and I'll zoom in, but you'll see from the second piece up from above the butt sections, you'll really start to see the tapers differ, and then in the tips as well. So I would say, the 2-weight out of the lineup is going to be the most sensitive of the Shadow family, with the 4-weight being the least sensitive of the family. So I'm settling right in the middle of the 3100. You're going to have a little more backbone, but you're still going to you're not going to give up as much sensitivity. It's a great all-around rod. Again, I think fishing, it's going to do it all. I mean, again, with side pressure and proper fish fighting techniques, you can certainly land some bigger fish with it. But I think unless you're running into fish all the time, 18 inches in heavy current, something like that, every river is different, all fish are different, of course, but I think staying true to that, if you're kind of landing a lot of mid-sized trout, the 3100 is going to really suit those needs, and you can always go ahead and put an extension in there to kind of give it just a little bit more backbone. You'll notice that. And then bumping on up, you have the 4100, the 10 and a half foot 4-weight. So this is kind of your big water rod. You're gonna notice it's gonna have a lot more backbone. You will give up a little more sensitivity, but especially for some of these bigger western rivers. Two, if you're fishing, on your Euro rigs or your indicator rigs, if you're fishing a little more lead, if you're fishing some bigger flies, it's gonna have the backbone to really turn some of those rigs over. Especially if you decide to run this as an indicator stick. So it's just something to consider. If you're really, bigger water, bigger flies, bigger fish, I would tell you to lean towards the 4-weight. Kind of your medium-sized Rocky Mountain East Coast rivers, the 3100 is really going to suit those needs. And then kind of your creek stick, your smaller fish, go with the 2100. But I've really enjoyed fishing all three, and I also guide with them as well. So I've gotten lots and lots of positive feedback. People really seem to love them, and I have a lot of clients that go out and purchase them after guide trips, and I get a lot of texts and emails back. People letting me know that they really enjoy, kind of experimenting with some of these Euro nymphing techniques, and then also just using it as an all-around tool. So you don't have to, if you want to kind of dip your feet in the water, you're not sure if European nymphing is something that you want to just dive headfirst in, the Shadow is a great place to start. And at a $250 price point with a lifetime warranty, that's really tough to beat. So something to definitely check out. And then if you have any questions about any of these rods, please feel free to reach out. You can email me or just message me on my YouTube channel. But hopefully this kind of maybe cleared some of the air, or if you were on the fence about a line weight, it might push you in that right direction. So if I can do anything else, just let me know. But definitely worth checking out. So see you on the river.